Oh, that's right. Huddle up. Huddle up, I do declare. Huddle up, I say. Um, isn't anybody going to listen to the story? All about the girl who came to stay. Do 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 do. Alright. Where's the olive? So we'll do the Camarillo. Man, this is like the first time I've uploaded a plan. K Binny to KCMA. And we'll do an approach into Burbank, and then from there we'll do an approachals back into Van Nuys. Yeah, that works out for me. And we're gonna do procedure. We're gonna depart from Van Nuys and Canoke 3 to Fillmore. We're not gonna reach Fillmore. They vector me before that. Okay. Hold up, because something got changed. Take this. Why does the axis only go... What if I... Oh, hold up. Let's try this again. Maybe 0 to 100. So maybe I need to be what? Let's clear it then. And we'll go back in. Alright, let's see if that does it. Yeah. Okay, that's the dumbest assignment I've ever seen. Negative 100% to 100%. No one's gonna understand that. That is so dumb. That is so dumb, Microsoft. What the fuck? Alright. Anahu. So we have procedure in the KCMA. Let's the arrival with the approach. We're gonna do the RNAV GPS Zulu, and we're gonna do it from Suwana. There we go. It's not gonna take 30 minutes. It's gonna take like 15 minutes. Yeah, it's gonna be quick. And my altitude is gonna be not 8,000, but it's gonna be, say 4,000. Alright, already done my walk around, sump the 5 fuel tanks, check the oil. I'm back in here. And yeah, perfect looping complete. Okay, that's removed. Seatbelts on. We selected a tank. So we're gonna turn both of these batteries on. We're gonna turn the strobe lights on, let everybody know that we're gonna start up here in a second. I my frame rate's shit right now. Okay, do we get a... Hey, update the... I should be getting this over here, but I'm not. Whatever. Yes, I know. Parking brake set. And I think it's not that we do prime. Five. Oh, and then actually I think no, in the old Continental engine it's about U. No, it's rich. And we set the power lever to E. We press boost. We yell clear prop. And we start the airplane up. We turn the avionics on. There we go. Still bus voltage is reading good. There we go. Drop the throttles just a little bit. Okay. Yes, pre-flight inspection, complete weight and balance, emergency equipment passengers briefed. Lessons, throttle harness, adjust and secure. Next, we did all of this. Not the most complicated thing in the world, but the layout of the airplane. Okay, now next, seat flaps up. Radios and avionics as required. Let's do the whole shebang. Let's do it all. I want it all. What's my home frequency? Should remember it. So that's gonna be 127. Yeah. On the mic. Listen to.
Van Nuys Airport information, Mike 2300 Zulu. Wind 158 at 11. Visibility 10. Sky condition 2,600 feet scattered, ceiling 4,900 feet overcast. Temperature 17. Dew point 10. Altimeter 30.12. ILS Yankee runway 16 right and visual
Yankee?
0 runway 16 left in use. Landing in departing runway 16 right and runway 16 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Mike.
Cool, we have Mike.
Van Nuys Airport information, Mike 2300 Zulu. Wind 158 at 11. Visibility 10. Sky condition 2,600 feet scattered, ceiling 4,900 feet.
And we'll switch. I know my field frequency is gonna be 19er. There we go. There we go. Radios, avionics, check. Every process required. Switch the fuel tank, so boost on. I'm gonna switch the fuel tanks. Boost off. So we'll do that. But first, before we go there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna configure our autopilot. Autopilot. So we're gonna go to origin. We're gonna say AVN. But why? Why? Percentage accept. Runway 16 right. That's true. Destination. is gonna be like we have set up on my map over here. BKCMA. Press enter. Runway should be 26. Press enter. And then yeah, for the en route, I'm gonna go for departures. I'm gonna go Canogue 3. Runway 16 right. And then it's gonna be Fillmore transition. We're going to load that in. So now we have a more complete route. And we're going to go procedure approach. We're going to do the GPS, yeah, the LPV into Camarillo from Suana. Minimums. Yeah, we'll do barrel minimums. Let's check the plate to see what exactly those minimums are gonna be. Minima should be down here. May as well do this on the ground because I don't feel like doing this while I'm trying to like. And we see that the minima is that big bold number right there, which is 327. So we're gonna dial that in. Three 30. Oh my god. Where's the volume? Oh, here it is.
Taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Golf Alpha Hotel Cross runway 16 right Foxtrot Alpha Alpha 2 Alpha 1 Cessna 7 X-ray Juliet.
It doesn't work. Alright. We'll just I'll just screw that. So and then oh yeah, and then let's while we're here, let's we'll bring this boy up. Departure. Bring up the departure. Your notams. Check the notams. Oh, these are the SID changes. Okay, yeah. That's fine. That's good. Oh, so let's actually dial that first altitude in. That's a good starting off. 1700, right? Let's switch the CDI over to, yes, our GPS. And, okay. The home page, and then let's go back into the checklist. Okay. Feet on the brakes. Yes. So let's advance the, and then brake check is good, HSI orientation, turn coordinator. So as we make this turn, let's check and make sure that the ball turn coordinator shows a good turn. Ball goes opposite direction. Oh god. Okay, it still need to fix the fact that this plane doesn't have a controllable wheel. It's recastering, so you have to use the brakes in either direction. Wind's blowing right down the runway. It was reported at 158 at 11 knots. Good. Good, I like a bit of performance on my airplane. Oh look, there's a jet.
Cessna 7 X-ray Juliet, hold position, caution the Cirrus SR-22 on the taxiway.
Oh hey! They told me to hold. Rad, 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 rad. And I say, hey, then
Continue taxi.
I was right here, you dumb bitch.
7 X-ray Juliet, hold position, caution the Cirrus SR-22 on the taxiway.
Alright, we have traffic behind me.
Cessna 7 X-ray Juliet, continue taxi.
We're not dealing with ATC right now because I don't feel like jumping on VATSIM particularly today. I would have said, NS Tower, 82 Alpha Bravo, checkpoint 1 with information, Mike, ready for taxi, IFR. Good. You should be able to taxi in now. Go to my usual hidey hole, which is over here. Oh, he's just going to jet center. Okay. What am I approaching, bitching Betty? What is that? Can you tell me what that is? Alright. God damn it. Alright, so before takeoff, checklist. So doors, make sure they're latched. Caps handle, you just move this panel aside and make sure that the pin is removed. Enter and enter, enter, enter. Seatbelt, shoulder harness, make sure they're tight and secure. Conditioning as desired, but you want to make sure that the recirc, this recirc is off. Fuel quantity, confirm. We are on one of the fullest tanks because they're level. Pump. Boost. Mixture full rich. And that should drop the revs. Flaps set 50. Check. Yep, flaps be down. Transponder, that's right. Normally we just leave these on ground reporting all the time. It's just a quick and dirty thing that I'm doing. And just set, check, autopilot. Now let's do that, okay. Well, it doesn't work in the sim, but what you would do is you would turn your autopilot on, make sure you overpower the servos in all directions, double tap disconnect, and then you hold it and you try to trim it, and it shouldn't be able to trim. So that's what I would do. But while we're here, I have my direction set up. And I have the direction set up, and then what we'll do is I'll load up nav mode, yep, onto the scoreboard. We're gonna put on FLC mode, and then FLC we're gonna have at, I believe, not 7 knots, not 11 knots. We'll stall at that airspeed. I'm gonna set it at like 100 knots. So that'll be cruise climb for us until we get to 1700. So that's autopilot check. Nav radios. Set that up. Cabin heat defrost is required. Brakes hold. Let's run the engine up to 1700 RPM. It's very good. They actually modeled the engine page on the Cirrus. Hollowy, alright. Okay, there's 17. We're gonna check the mags. So from both left, no drop greater than 150, no greater discrepancy than 75 between the mags. So from both to left. Good drops, back to both. From both to right. Good drops, back to both. I'm gonna check the alternators picking up the current. Turn all the lights on. There we go, they jumped up right here. No discharging from the battery, that's a good thing. Let's turn everything off. And then, what else? Let's check the idle, everything is good, 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 good. Everything is good. Did the checks, got the numbers right for the checks. Parameter set power lever 1000. Line instruments, make sure I'm within 75 feet of field altitude. That checks out. Right in my direction. Cool. That checks out. We are doing the flight controls. Make sure they are. Maybe I can usually. Yeah, there we go. I gotta say, I can usually see the elevator from where I'm sitting, so might have to just adjust the view. Yeah. And then trim, just make sure that it's. Oh, it doesn't move. Those fuckers. Last but not least, double tap autopilot disconnect. Okie dokes. Let's take the boost off. I don't know, bro. Okay, so it's gonna be the Canuck 3 departure off of 16 right, Van Nuys. We're expecting to use about 2,000 feet of available runway, so by taxiway Kilo we expect to be wheels up. If we're not wheels up, we're gonna discontinue the takeoff and taxi back. This plane will not be usable in the case of emergency. Engine out. On the roll, we have lots of room. If we're wheels up, we can set the plane down. Once we're past airport property, it's going to be aiming 15 degrees within the nose. The basin, the flood basin, the Balboa flood basin is going to be our best bet, and we're going to aim. We're not going to perform the 180-degree turn back to the airport. Minimum 2,500 feet for running through the checklist, and then specificamente for our route today, let's actually set that heading instead of the initial heading. It's gonna be runway heading, and then so it's gonna be takeoff runway, climb on heading 163, cross BNY 2.2 at or below 1700, then climbing right turn, then expect radar vectors to Ipijo. Okay. So 1700 until we are 2.2 from the nav beacon. Let's actually dial that nav beacon in. So VNY is... What does that freak say? 113.1. So let's put that in. So we're gonna put... 113.1. That's V and Y. Let's put my PFD options bearing 2 on. There we go. Put bearing 1 on as well for the ILS. It should be... Yeah, what we'll do is this will be the... What is the ILS frequency for... Let's look that up real quick. Just in case we had to do a turnaround, 1113. So that's what we're going to have in the primary. It should pick it up. Yeah, ILS, V, and Y. So now we're going to go back to the departure page. Okay, and then we're going to expect radar vectors 2 EP-HO, or we're just going to turn there ourselves anyways. Then we'll follow the route EP-HO to Suwana. We'll be at our at the altitude we need, basically. And then at Suwana is going to be the initial approach into Camarillo, so we should be setting up for then. Normal takeoff, brakes release, powerful forward, engine parameters check, rotate smoothly at 77 to 80 knots. At 90 knots, flaps up. So we're not going to do it at 85 like I know how to do in the SR20, but we're going to be modifying that to 90. Fuel boost should be left on during takeoff and for climb is required for vapor suppression with hot or warm fuel. Well, it's very cold today, so I don't believe that's going to be a problem. No, we're not gonna. Okay. At this point, we will contact tower. We'll say Van Nuys Tower, so 32 Alpha Bravo holding short, runway 16 right for in sequence IFR departure. I'll say Cirrus 82 Alpha Bravo. You're cleared for takeoff runway 16 right, Canoga 3 departure. Contact SoCal at 134.2. So we'll do that. We'll put in. Would have gotten that in the clearance. That's why we're practicing this in the sim rather than in real life or tomorrow. We'll have that on the standby. And let's get out of the. Oh, shut up. Exit. There we go. Zoom in the map. So we get traffic, right? Map opciones. Oh, it says traffic is on. So we should be seeing traffic, but I don't see anything yet, so. Next rad. Cool. Tight. Alright, so we got our taxi, or our takeoff clearance, so we're gonna go to Christmas tree status. Make sure that just do our final check. Boost pump on. Flaps 50. We're gonna make sure our engine page is on initially. Take all available runway. No need to hold the brakes. It's a normal takeoff. Advance the throttle smoothly. Pull forward. There's 2,500 RPM. We're supposed to be hitting 27. I don't know why we're not getting it. Go. There's my V rotate. Above 90 knots, flaps up. Somebody was driving a truck. How dare they? Traffic 4 o'clock, 1 mile, same altitude. Out there somewhere. Let's switch out of the engine page. And let's keep our eyes open. Climbing up, let's look at the altitude very quickly. I mean, we're busting through like 1,500 feet per minute on the climb. That's why I love these airplanes. And let's go level real quick because we're still 1.7 miles away. Above 1,300 feet, caps is available. Let's not bust that altitude. Not bust that altitude. Okay. So now we're at that point, so we're gonna say fuck. Autopilot on. Set an initial altitude of like 4,000 feet, let's say, on the GPS. Let's get into the flight plan, and now let's select. Let's say they give the vectors to us. Now we can go direct. Ipijo. Get out of the flight plan. Holy crap, we're gonna get right to our altitude. Let's switch up to 5,000 feet. Why not? I'll do a cruise climb of 100 knots. And make sure pitot heat's on. Make sure we keep an eye on the outside air temperature. It's 5 degrees. That's gonna start going down the higher up we go. Yeah, I would keep the airplane right about there. Alright, so let's bring it down to, let's say about like 70% power. We got this nice little graph over here that tells us where to put the mixture at. Point it right at the blue line. And we're eating a lot of gas. 145 across the ground. We are bandits. Absolute bandits. Yes, I know about the Burbank. And they would have told us to switch frequencies at this point. Let's bring up the approach plate. Since we got a pijo in front of us, I can verify it with my navigational data right here. So we got Swan as the next initial approach fix. We'll keep the speed in, and our final approach fix is going to be Hokiv at 2,800 feet. So let's just do a quick synopsis of what we're doing with this approach. So, plate's good until the 21st of March. It's the RNAV GPS Zulu into runway 26 at Camarillo. It is a WAS approach, LPV. The course is already set in. Landing length on this runway 6,000 feet. Touchdown zone elevation, airport elevation at 77 feet. If local altimeter not received, you starts and increase decision altitude 18 feet. ATIS 126.025.
Camarillo Airport information, Sierra 0000 Zulu. Wind 216 at 6. Visibility 10. Sky condition, ceiling 1,900 feet broken. Temperature 15. Dew point 10. Altimeter 30.14. Visual runway 26 in use. Landing and departing runway 26. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions.
And we'll put,
Flight controller on initial contact, you have Sierra.
nice. So their ground control
Camarillo
is...
Airport information, Tango 0000 Zulu. Wind 216 at 6.
We'll have the ground frequency on, and then we're going to switch up. We're going to put their I don't know, let's say their tower frequency. 128.2. One to 8.2, cool. We are nearing. So let's activate the approach. Yes. So now we have Suwana. Now it becomes Suwana 2 Jurex. Jurex. Let's turn on vertical speed, and then we'll allow the autopilot to descend to. Final approach fix, and once we get closer, we'll set it to minimums. Yes, sir. This autopilot system should be pretty smart. Current outside air temperature, we are good. We're like right on the line though. So let's make sure we have our ice lights on, just so we can check and see what the status and the condition of the wings are as we're pushing. It's still getting a little moist, but I don't really see any ice, anything I should be worried about. But I think if we were to climb any higher, we would be yeah. We're already descending, so let's pull the power back. Clouds are like spotty at best. It's probably been 15 minutes, so let's land with the not with the fullest tank. Okesi already at 3,300 feet. Yeah, so we are headed in, that's for sure. Yeah, and then the final approach fix is actually quite a ways away from runway environment itself. I want to be. Oh, we can probably gas it in. Approach will expect that from a Cirrus, so that's nothing to be surprised about, right? So we'll keep about let's keep about like that much power in. We'll keep the boost on. Not a lot that you can do because it all happens so fast. So Jurex for Okesi, our minimums are going to be 327. That's already dialed in. Jurex to Okesi up here in 2 miles, and that's going to happen quick because we are going at a considerable rate of speed. Is that a word? I don't know. And then in the runway environment, runway 26, you have a major taxiway that's parallel to it, so make sure that it's the rightmost piece of concrete. And then misapproach is climb to 3,000, direct Vang, and then via 253 tracked Hatley, and then hold. So Hatley is a misapproach point way off in the distance. Here we go. So it should hold me at like 3,300 feet as we cross it. Yes, thank you, Betty. Okay, Hokiv is the final approach fix. We are 2.5 miles away from it, so let's dial everything in, and I'll have this up with the traffic. It should give me the traffic from Microsoft Flight Sim over here in the corner. Okay, 1.9 miles, so I want to dial it back down to about, let's say about like 100 knots approach speed. Mixture full rich. There we go, boost on. Not running through any checklists at the moment, but that's because 1.1 miles away. Should have the flap speeds up on here too. Yeah, it's gonna pitch up because we are. So let's put in approach mode. And then we'll dial in the There we go. Glide path mode engaged. We'll do 400 feet for the GPS. Okay, above 119 knots. Flaps 50, so we'll do the approach at 100 knots. Now, I can already see the runway ahead of me, but we're gonna practice flying this thing down to minimums. Just to get the practice. Just to, you know, wet my wings, as it were. Getting back into the groove of things. Ugh. It's clear out here. You know, it says 1900 broken, so. Oh, and then let's set the barometer and let's set 3 on 4. Yeah, then we'll do this landing. I mean, you can count them when you do like missed approaches and all that, but you know, there's a potential I might be seeing some actual IFR weather tomorrow anyways, so getting the practice in is much better for the soul. Don't want to overspeed the flaps, so let's bring the speed down, bring the speed down, bring the speed down. See, I think landing speed of 90 knots. That's no flaps landing, and then 85 or so for half flaps landing, which is where we're at. So runway end identifier lights on either side. A considerable power dip right there. Heat do be on. We're getting into thicker air, so the engine should be performing better because we're getting more air that's meeting the more mixture that we have inside the airplane. Let's keep on top of that speed. Let's not dip below 90 knots. A little gusty. It's a little bit gusty. Alright. We're below the cloud layers, so we'll go pitot heat off. What is this dude doing? Got this bro just over here, this Cessna crossing my approach path. Incontrovertible. Is he gonna land before us? Dude is like within a mile of us. And I'm on an approach. What is he doing? It's banking again. Let's see. So we're about 800 feet from what's it called? Minimums? I'm watching minimums. 327 for minimums. That's what the plate says. Is he gonna turn back? Thank you, Betty. Oh, I think people can't hear the iPad. I think in the past they were able to hear it because the mirror for this will also play the audio on my computer, but I don't know the audio settings for that. We're 200 feet above minimums. $100 feet above minimums. You see minimums takes you almost right to the runway. And we're fine because, you know. Minimums. Autopilot off. I'm gonna drop the throttle. I'm gonna go full flaps. So we'll do I need this practice because it's been a minute since I've flown a Cirrus 5. Yeah, let's drop that speed. Okay, that's good. That's about what I want for an approach speed. Drop the throttle. Flare it. Easy on the stick. Bleed that energy off. See if we can't make that taxiway. Up on the elevator. Nice, we need taxiway alpha. Alright, we are clear the runway, so we'd switch over to COM2. We'd call them, we'd say, hey, Cameo ground 82 Alpha Bravo clear of runway 26 at Alpha. Taxi back to runway 26. And they give me the clearance. They'll say, continue on Alpha. I think this is Bravo. I don't know. Yeah, technically this is supposed to be Bravo. Yeah, we're on Bravo. So they'll say Bravo and then join hotel. And then left on Alpha. And I'll say Bravo Hotel Alpha. 82 Alpha Bravo. Just like that. And wouldn't you know it, there's brighter, happier skies over here at Camarillo than there are anywhere else. This is the whole short pads over here. Game runs way nicer out in this area, of course, than it does. Oh, shut up. Well. When I can't touch the crew alert system? Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Okay, this airport I don't think has a particular departure procedure. I think all it says is you depart, make a left turn, and then you cross over CMA. So reverse them. And then put this where are we, first of all? Procedure, departure, yeah, it's in the minimums. So Camarillo 26 climbing to 2500. So let's dial that in. On CMA VOR DME radial 265 vents. So they're asking us to follow a radial. Fuck. So let's dial it in. So now instead of, or we'll do VOR2. That's what we'll do. So let's dial it in. So CMA VOR DME. Say what the I want to give me. I think there's another GPS function that does that, but I can't remember. Let's see what the frequency says on here. 1158. So let's dial in. The CMA. Now we're gonna put the shit, where do I put the course? Where does the course go? Why isn't it? What? Where's the course button? Unless I have to like go in here. What? How come I can't screw with the course? That's bollocks, as they say. I don't know. Bar. Not roll mode, I want nav mode. There you go. So it's gonna go in a heading. Why don't we do... There's a button missing. So... So the problem is... I need some way to be able to dial this to where this is. The button to dial this in is over here. It's a radial dial. I now need something to do to turn this. Usually it's like an outer thing on the barrel knob, but it's not fucking here. So now I gotta figure out how that's done. Well, shiznickel. That just, if pushing that just syncs it up, so I don't think it's that. Course. And it's like not on here either. Like the knob is literally like conjoined with the barrel knob. This is infuriating. I don't know what to do. Anywho, let's also go into the flight plan. Yeah, we can just invert the flight plan. Yes. Procedure. There's no procedure, so I'll have to punch it in. And then it's gonna be... Oh, what's it gonna be? Oh, the misery. It's been an hour. That sounds about right. Why don't we... let's go to Burbank. Yeah, let's go into Burbank. Go into Burbank. Trying to think if there's a way to link Burbank into Van Nuys as nice as we can do it, like in Camarillo. And I don't think there is. Unless we went down south to somewhere like Long Beach or somethings like that. I'll just keep it back to Van Nuys. I'm not going to be here for long because I'm going to go see Dune later on. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the en route. We're gonna select the keyboard icon. We're gonna type in just CMA. Yes, the one that's in the Southwest United States. And basically, so we're gonna turn out on the radial. We're gonna then turn back in once we're at altitude, cross over CMA, right? Because that's what the plate says, right? Then climbing left turn direct before proceeding on course. Then we're gonna go CMA to guess what? Fillmore. Then, just like magic, XMZRU, welcome to the stream. It's a Slicer saying thank you so much for the follow. We are prepping for an instrument flight back to Van Nuys. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. All right. So I have main view over here. I also have my iPad, which is providing the latest and the greatest. We're gonna do Sidom as the initial approach fix. No, we're gonna do. What am I kidding? Fillmore. And then basically we'll have this plate up. So as we're getting closer, I am doing terrific. Thank you so much for asking. We're about to get set up for departure here, so hold on to your horses. And yeah, we're gonna select the approach in here. And it's just like we said, it's gonna be the ILS Zulu 16 right. We're gonna take it from Fillmore. Love it when both the in-game GPS and my iPad agree. Except our minimums are not gonna be that low because we will be dead in the ground. So let's look at the plate. And let's look at what the numbers say here. The numbers say it's about roughly 1,100 feet. So let's dial that in. The system is not going to recognize anything as precise as 1095. That's going to be for us to recognize 1,100 feet. Oh, well. Aw, shucks. That's actually the first time I've received that compliment. No one's ever told me that before. Well, that just made my day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I had to go through a whole period of like trying to figure out like how to do my EQing like on the, because this is like a $20 like Logitech like camera that I'm using for the mic. So, but yes. But I've also noticed usually when I fly to I tend to have the really calm. Not approved for GPS. Yes, I know it's an ILS. I call it the captain voice. I should be a voice actor. Well, I'll be. I've done like vocals before. Like I can sing. Like I know I can do that, but I don't really often go in that direction. Okay. So flaps 50. We'll just do the quick and dirty before takeoff checklist. Mixer full rich, boost on. We are on the, and yeah, we have RPM drop because the mixer just got enriched, and we're still on the fullest tank. So we're gonna burn through that on the flight over. So, and we're gonna say, let's say an initial 6,000 feet. Oh no, we got the 2.5. So once we reach that, and still no way to adjust our course, which is concerning. I just use equalizer APO. So I use the one that's through OBS. What I would like for OBS to implement is like a monitor. Like I would love to be able to monitor it so I can just get it just right. But I don't know it. If I'm getting compliments. What's a budding pilot? Oh, that bio is old because I am now an actual pilot. So I probably wrote that back when I was still a student pilot way back in the day. So I got my pilot's license back in 2021. Just got my commercial pilot's license this October of last year. So yeah, I'm just busy trying to get things back together. I just got my FAA medical Yeah, that's what I was trying to. I was like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about it too. I was like, oh yeah, I have not touched my bio in quite a while, so it's. Thank you for pointing that out. I'll have to. Gotta check on that. So let's park and brake, and then on the brakes. So we're gonna check the approach and make sure that it's clear. I feel like the only person who reads the streamer's bio, you know, you're doing 100% more work than most viewers out there. So you know, thank you for keeping it 100. Um, landing lights on, nav lights on. This is when Camera Tower would say, and this is Camera Tower 82 Alpha Bravo, cleared for departure runway 26 and ODP departure. I'll repeat it back. Okay. Let's put the map back on. Onto the runway. Make sure the runway heading. Accessory multi or CF5. So I'm working on my CF5 right now. I actually just got my AGI and IGI. So right now what I'm doing is I'm working on all my lesson plans right now, so I can hopefully get some work. First, as let's pay attention. Sterile cockpit. 80 knots will rotate, and we're expecting 90 for flaps retract. Above 90 knots, flaps up. The nose down. Yeah, so I'm busy working just to nail down all my lesson plans, and then beyond that, hopefully get a job as a ground instructor so I can start making some scratch while I'm working on my CFI. I have an initial date.
Engaging autopilot.
Thank you. I have an initial date for my exam. It's like sometime in, well, this Cirrus, especially the 22, because it's got a bigger engine, so it's a rocket ship. It's an absolute beast. Because I've got a Cirrus rental tomorrow, and it's supposed to be raining in Southern California, so I'm hoping to turn it into get my instrument currency done with an instructor, so I can get signed off on that. I did it all through a Part 61 school, so because I had graduated from college like back in 2020, so I just wanted the fastest, cheapest option. Was it the fastest? Probably not in retrospect. But I was like already halfway through school by the time I decided I wanted to become a pilot. So, this is just the way to do it. There's hopefully going to be some opportunities. So I've got my primary school lined up, but if that doesn't work out, there's plenty of schools in the SoCal area. So let's go into the flight plan. That's not what I wanted to do. Direct, enter, enter. We're gonna continue to the climb. I sound so, okay, all right. Take a guess. How old do you think I am? I wanna hear it. I wanna hear it. I wanna hear guesses. Turn the pitot heat on, because we're climbing into that reported layer. How young do you think I sound? Let's hear it in the chat, folks. Let's zoom in the map just to see what's happening. Oh, nav, that's why. I'm like, no, that's not going towards the... Okay, that's why. I wasn't on magenta needles. So let's use the heading. Made that mistake before. I sound 20. Wow, that's such a compliment, thank you. I wonder what your reaction would be if I told you I am actually 30 years old, 30 years old. Already coming up on our altitude. So let's start dialing the power back. The autopilot's gonna capture it, but I also don't want to be going a million miles a minute. Get off the boost, and yeah, we'll stay on this tank. I refuse to believe that you're older than 25. I was born in 1993. Let that sink in. I was born in 1993. So how old was I when I got when I graduated. I think I was like 27, I think. Yeah, I think I was 27 when I graduated from college because I switched majors like between college. So I started college like in 2015 or so. Graduated high school in 2011. Took a sabbatical after that. Leaning, that's right. I don't like wasting gas, do you? So, nice thing about the G6 Cirrus is you just bring the needle all the way down to that blue line, and we're lean for our altitude. Let's see, traffic. Oh, he's 3,000 feet. We do have traffic ahead of us. What's their speed? 250 knots, we're fine. Yeah, no, but it has been a process, like, trying to get through all my licenses and everything, because I've had to go through the process of getting what's called a special issuance medical certificate. But they just got back to me. They gave me, second time around, my first class, so... but, like, it took them, like... It's when you become a CFI, your students might think you're younger, would feel more comfortable. Well, yeah, that's what I expect. Like, I'm probably gonna get all the younger, you know, CFI you know, private pilot students and everything. That's perfectly fine, you know. I'm a fun guy. I'm nice to be around. What are my CHTs? It's a cold day, so my CHTs aren't really gonna be taking that big of a hit. That's something you normally be looking out for on a summer day. Yeah, we'll keep the, Alright, is the ILS for VNY up? Yes, it is. 111.30. That's the active. So just one thing that we're going to be making sure as we're headed in, let's bring the plate up before we head in. So plate's good until the 21st of March. So we have a current plate. ILS Zulu 1 16 right in the Van Nuys. The localizer frequency, which we already have dialed in, 111.3. Approach course 164. Landing distance 6,500 feet with the touchdown zone at elevation 793 feet. Give me required, radar required for monitoring of misapproach from local altimeter setting not received. Use Burbank altimeter setting and increased decision altitude to 114. Let's check the NOTAMs to see if they modify anything. Amendment. Except for aircraft equipped with suitable RNAV system GPS, is the DME's out of service. You wouldn't be saying that anymore when you actually start teaching. You know, the way that I look at it is, we will cross that bridge when we get there. I've had a little bit of like teaching experience even before I've started doing any of the CFI stuff. And what's funny is like a lot of the prep work into the CFI is just teaching. I can't tell you how many times I've had my own CFIs. They just have me teach their students, and it's like, oh, okay. And it's nice because like the feedback is much more realistic. You get an actual genuine like reaction, you know, from your students of like, oh, do I need to walk away from this point? Have we, you know, is this understood? Your checks for understanding can be made much more, you know, genuine. Let's bring up the right now, like, my biggest worry is, like, I'm trying to work on getting my lesson plans down, you know, to be as perfect as possible.
Information Mike 0000 Zulu. Wind 165 at 7. Visibility 10. Sky condition 2,600 feet scattered. Ceiling 4,900 feet overcast. Temperature 15. Dew point 10.
Yeah, we just made the turn.
Altimeter 30.12.
Okay.
ILS Yankee runway 16 right and visual 0 runway 16 left in use. Landing and departing runway 16 right and runway 16 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold.
Let's set the ground freak. Ground freak is 1 to 1.7. F-17. You get that one student who watched Top Gun last night thinks it's Cessna's an F-14 Tomcat. Oh yeah. Turn and burn, baby. It's gonna slam the throttles wide open, you know. Treat every landing like a carrier landing. I used to have a bunch of carrier landings myself. I'm sure my instructors checked the landing gear a bunch. And all the wow. Ground speed 180 knots. We have hella tailwind. Yeah, we have like a 13 knot tailwind. Yeah, I did a lot of my CFI used to call them professionally firm, you know. We'll switch over the green needles now because I just know that ILS. Oh, hey, look, the course is already dialed in. Yeah, it's only going to give you the course if you select it with an approach, of course. I was trying to look for the course knob earlier, and this model doesn't have one. Navy pilot landing. I play with a DCS group, and I'm flying the Hornet with the DCS group. So yeah, I know all about, yeah, like they teach you you don't ever flare. But to be fair, like trying to teach the flare to somebody is like it's almost like an alien concept, right? Because okay, I'm supposed to level it out when and do what with it, right? Oh god, no, we're not going into the Earth. Did not know you could select negative. Think rough landing is better than a crash. Always, always. Any landing you can walk away from. And then any landing with the plane still flyable. You know how it is. Roughly. Like DCS as a flight student is a dangerous. I had been playing both DCS, Flight Sim X, and X-Plane 11. I had been playing all of those, and I've been playing flight sims since I was probably a little kid. So I've had a lot of, like, you know, don't have to worry about, oh, this is how you climb, this is how you descend kind of thing. Okay, we're coming up on waypoint Zidum. But it was really interesting, like, okay, like I got into like the freeware, like in DCS you get to meet more actual military. I think I had met, like through Reddit, I had met an actual like Strike Eagle driver who like offered to like take me on a flight in DCS once, which was really, really cool. And actually, like in my DCS squadron, like I want to say we have a couple real life Hornet pilots. So yeah, you do meet an interesting bunch of people, and but it was in DCS that I learned the concept of, you know, pitch for speed, power for altitude, because that's how you do all your approaches, right? You set the AOA to be what it needs to be so that the tail is in such position that your tail hook will catch the wires, right? So if you're not on speed, it's like, yeah, it's not really going to matter whether you actually hit the deck or not, but what's important is making sure that the hook is in the right position, so that it catches the wire, right? And so that's where you learn, okay, so you pitch for that speed and then you control the rest with your throttles, right? And so when I got back into learning to fly for real, you know, it became, you know, it's like I was immediately reminded of, oh yeah, that's right, like I do it all on the throttle. Oh, and then, you know, then it clicked for me, right? Yeah, I look back at my old logbook and I see, oh my gosh, like I think in my first year alone of, okay, so we just passed Zidum, now it's Umber, so let's watch the GPS. We are coming up on that turn, so let's start that turn. Because once we start seeing the needle move, like, Control would already have told us, oh yeah, like, I don't know if it's gonna say VPath for me. Because China is at 4,900, so let's... There we go, VPath. So let's just start reducing the altitude now. And I don't want to be at 90 degrees when I'm crossing the localizer, because it's gonna go whoop. It's gonna fly right past us. Yeah, there it is. Let's put nav mode on. And let the autopilot handle the rest. Let's bring the speed down to 120 knots. And let's start configuring the aircraft for approach. Boost pump on. Land on the right tank. Leave the pitot heat on until we're below the layer, which is forecast at 2,600 feet broken. That's gonna be about 3,000 something odd feet, because field elevation 802 feet. Okay, Umber to China, 2 miles. Okay, there's my target speed. We'll keep 120 in. You know, you never know if there's a jet behind you. But yeah, every time I fly with the squadron, I'm always streaming those missions. So those are usually on the weekends. So I think I'm taking the next couple times off, I want to say. So I think not this weekend, because I'm taking my dad out for his birthday, but what's it? I want the next weekend in March, I'll be streaming DCS, and I mean DCS just came out with a new update, so I'll be Battlefield. No problems, no problems. Kind of dialed in for the ILS approach, anyways. See if I'll be able to log it, because I'm already popping out of the layer. That'd be so awesome if I could use this sim rig at home as an aviation training device. I don't think the FAA would ever, though. Plus, they're super expensive too. Okay, 3 miles from Furry. Final approach fix. Once we reach that altitude, we're going to activate approach mode on the autopilot. Before we get there, I want to get below flaps deploy speed of about 120, I think, on this airframe. Alright, there we go. So below 119, flaps 50. And check and reduce the, or actually add power, because just add a drag. Let's keep that speed up in case there's traffic behind me. Yes, I know about the Delta Airspace. Then 0.5 miles of the final approach fix. We are configured. Everything is good to go. Our lights are on. 3800. Let's activate approach mode. That's going to take us all the way down to minimums. That's right. Just gonna hit the altitude first. We have glide slope mode. hooked in, and it's captured, and it's going to take us all the way down to the wire. Keep some power in, keep some power in. And we can already see the runway. Oh my god. I already would have been talking to them. Hey, Van Nuys Tower 82 Alpha Bravo on the ILS 16 Zulu approach. I'll be like, 82 Alpha Bravo, cleared to land. Runway 16 right. I'd be like, clear to land 16 right, 82 Alpha Bravo. That's that traffic ahead of me. Man, I'm hungry. Traffic ahead of me crossing right to left. 1,000 people. What are you, sir? What are you doing? You're turning towards me, sir. That's a conflict. That is a traffic conflict if I ever seen one. Okay, what is he doing, bro? Sometimes the AI can be a little let's call it a little lacking, you know. Oh, nice. Oh, you're gonna cross in front of the approach path. Oh, that's stellar. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. Alright, so remember the callouts. Yeah, there we go. It brings up the minima once you start getting closer. Oh. He's supposedly right here. Alrighty, tidy. $1,000 above minimums. Well, at least he's quick. Should be landing soon. And approaching 500 above minimums now. Getting close to there. We have visual, but, you know, again, I want to practice going to minimums in this here aeroplane. 500 above minimums. Just dial the throttle back real quick. Getting mighty close now. Yeah. So that checks with what Betty just said. Southwest. So start dialing the throttle back just a little bit. I want to zoom past the runway. Yeah, sure enough, you reduce the power, the autopilot's automatically going to pitch up. About 100 feet above minimums. There's minimums. The autopilot deal with the trim right there. Autopilot off. Keep some power in, keep some power in. We have to displace threshold. Let's practice. Line the glide slope all the way in. There we go. It's gonna get really sensitive the further in we are. There's the markers right there. Okay. Got the power. Yeah, hold it off, bleed that energy off. we go, a little bit off center line, but... Nice, and we made intersection Kilo. So, you know, it's a very, very good landing. And pulled past the, hold short bars on the runway. Let's clean the airplane up. Let's turn the pitot heat off. Use the required lights and just off, and then mixture, set it to the X. That's what I like to do. Alright, cool. I'd say sayonara to tower, and then I'd say ground. 82 Alpha Bravo. Clear of 16 right on Kilo taxi to Prop Park. They'd say taxi via Alpha. Taxi via Alpha 82 Alpha Bravo. And then do this. Whoa! What are you doing, buddy? You not see me? Oh my gosh. That's okay. That's okay, autopilot. I don't need you anymore, autopilot. And there you have it, folks. That's some instrument flying today. There's the Van Nuys Condor Squadron over here. Wow. Oh, okay, Speed Racer. Walking speed. Oh, I think that's traffic. That's a plane that just took off. Yeah. The doors. I used to be able to open the doors in X-Plane 11. Sadly, that is not the case anymore. I can't focus on that right now. I'm taxing. Sterile cockpit, you know. You know how it is. There you have it, folks. We made it out through the clouds and we made it back. Instrument flying is all about interpreting where you are without looking outside, right? Especially when you fly in the clouds, it's important that you always keep a look at your instruments, because those are the things that are going to keep you alive, and, you know, not your inner ear that's trying to kill you by lying about where the horizon is, right? No way. The online traffic through the fly-by-wire traffic app actually correctly identified a real-life airplane over here. 810 Romeo Tango. I've flown that airplane. Oh my gosh. And 282 Mike Kilo. Seen that airplane too, the very purple airplane. It's the purple airplane. And usually I like to park this bitch right over here. Yeah, this does not model a castering wheel, like, at all. That's the biggest point of contention if I had to find one, you know. But other than that, the and then I don't know enough about the systems modeling. I think that's probably the correct amount of fuel usage I would have used, I think. To be fair though, I've never flown a Cirrus SR-22. I've only flown a Cirrus SR-20, which has less power, as some might know. There we go. Turn the flight director off. That's what was bugging me. Alright. Why don't we do like a... Yeah, I don't know what other approaches there are across the country. There's a lot of different like ODPs, I know, in areas not like this area. But what I have to do, sadly, is I gotta find somebody to raid. Because I've got somewhere to be in not too long. Got plans for tonight. Love to just, you know. Ooh, KSTL has a fly-in. Oh, that's interesting. I might do that. Or you know what? We'll just end the stream there. We won't raid. If you join me at any point, turn the lights off. And the procedure is turn this guy off. You would in real life check the mags, then boost pump off. Make sure all the way to cutoff. And then switches right to left. There we go. If you joined me at any point during the stream, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me. We're doing a little bit of practice working out that muscle in my brain that was used for all the instrument training that I did about a year ago, right? And it's been a while, so we have instrument weather again back in California, so I'm getting ready for going back up into the soup in real life when I do my checkout tomorrow. So join me at any point. Just thank you so much. If you consider giving me a follow, that helps me so much as a small content creator. So I can do more fun stuff like this or fun stuff like DCS. Yeah, on most of the weekends, I'm playing DCS with the F-18 Squadron. So join me there. We have lots of fun. We get blown up lots. We try to make it back to the boat, and there's as close to real life comms as we can simulated there as well. So it's a really neat experience. And then every now and then I'm gonna be playing something different. I'm gonna try to do at least once during the week. So anything like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 2042, Microsoft Flight Sim, DCS, along with a host of other stuff. But until next time, folks, y'all have a good one. Stay safe, stay dry. See ya.